Hi everybody! Welcome to our first day of our percent lesson. We are going to start off with taking some notes in your new note packet, Unit 3, Part 2, and then doing some practice problems. We're going to be learning two different methods for solving percent problems. The proportion method, which we'll learn today, and the equation method we'll learn tomorrow. Today I am requiring that you use the proportion method. We'll take notes on it, but basically it is part over whole equals a percent over 100%. So all we're doing here is setting up a proportion to equivalent ratios. So let's take a look at those notes. All right, first page of our notes, really we're going to go through this quickly. It is a basic review, things that we've already talked about this year, as well as things that you learned in elementary school. So to start with, our unit is fractions, decimals, and percents, and realize these are all, they're related to each other basically. We can take any number from a fraction, go to a decimal to percent, and vice versa. So starting off, what is 84 out of 100 simplified? And of course, it is 21 over 25 because both the 84 and the 100 are divisible by 100. So thinking about this in terms of a test, if you got 84 questions correct out of 100, what percent is this? Well, obviously it is 84%. And we think about percent meaning per 100, and we can see 84 over 100, the percent. In terms of converting, to convert a fraction to a decimal, we simply, it's the numerator divided by the denominator. So, looking at our example that I have here, if we take that 21/25, and we know this line here means to divide, we of course get the decimal 0.84, 84 hundredths. Now, to take that decimal and move it to a percent, so again, we're taking the 0.84 and we're turning it into a percent, we are going to move the decimal twice to the right. So we're simply moving this 1, 2, and we end up with 84%. Right? Finally, to convert the percent, again, here's our 84%, to a decimal, we are again going to move the decimal and still moving it twice, but this time we're moving it twice to the left. So even though we don't see the decimal there, we know there's a decimal, that invisible decimal after the 4 or after the last digit. If you move it twice, we end up back at 0.84. Okay, so just some basic review. Taking a moment here to look at these. If we convert to a decimal and then to a percent, if we have 4/5, we convert this to 0.8, or of course, if you want to put 0.80, that's fine. And then as a percent, it becomes 80%. How about this one? 3 divided by 120. Go ahead and take a moment to do that in your calculators. Again, that's 3 divided by 120, and you get 0.025. Now again, to turn this to a percent, we move our decimal 2 places to the right, 1, 2, and we end up with 2.5%. Remember, it is perfectly fine to end up with a decimal in your percent. All right, if we are converting these percentages down here to a decimal, again, we've got that invisible decimal after our last digit. We move it 2 places to the left, and we end up with 0.84. To the next one, 8.4%. Moving it 2 places means we're having to add a 0 in there. We get 0.084. And finally, 184%, and of course it's fine to have over 100%. We've got that invisible decimal right here after the 4, move it 2 places, and we end up with 1.84. All right, so basic review here. Here's where the actual lesson is. Sorry, a chair just fell off a desk out of the video. Sorry for that loud crash. All right, looking at finding percent, part, or whole. Again, there's 2 methods. We're going to learn just one today, which is the proportion method. A reminder, what is a proportion? Remember, it's just 2 equal ratios. So, the nice thing about this is you can take any percent problem, whether you're finding the percent, the part, or the whole, and use this method. And I've got it over here. It's basically how we're going to be setting up all the problems. I probably should have put that as 100% too. So think of it as part over whole, and then again, on this side, it's also part. It's a percentage over the whole, which is 100%. Let's take a look. So to find percent, it says what percent is 24 of 52? Also notice, part is associated with the word is, whereas your whole, your total, is associated with the word of. All right, so we're going to set this up. Line equals line, in other words, are equivalent ratios. We can always go ahead and fill in the bottom right-hand corner with 100%, and please make sure you're putting the percent sign. Go back into your problem. Do we know the percent? Obviously no. It says what percent, so that's going to be my variable. I'm going to use P since I'm looking for the percent. Still put the percent sign. Then I have my 2 other numbers, 24 and 52. 24 is my part, whereas 52 is my whole. And now I have a proportion set up where I can solve through cross multiplication. When I cross multiply, I end up with 52p equals 2400. I would divide both sides by 52, and I get p is equal to 46, and I'm going to go ahead and round here to the nearest tenth, 46.2%. That is my final answer. All right, moving on. Now we're looking for the part, but we're still setting it up the same way. That's the beauty of this. Line equals line. What goes down here? You guessed it, 100%. Ask yourself, do you know the other percent? Well, in this particular problem we do. It's 30%. The other number I have in here is 18. So now we've got to decide, is that the part or the whole? What is 30% of, hint, hint, there's your keyword, of 18? Remember, of is telling us whole. We're saying, what is 30% of this whole, this total of 30? Oh, I'm sorry, of 18. So I'm looking for the part. Again, we will cross multiply. 100x equals 18 times 30 is 540. Divide both sides by 100. And we end up with our part being 5.4. All right, finally, last example here. We're looking for the whole, but we set it up the same way. Line equals line. Fill in the bottom right-hand corner with 100%. Do we know the other percent in the problem? Of course we do. It's the 60%. The other number I have in here is 2. 2 is 60% of what? Well, the of what means I don't know the total. Okay, that's the part I don't know. 2 is, and literally think about, in math, is means equals also. So if you think 2 is, there's our equal sign, 2 is 60%. Cross multiply here, we get 60x equals 200. Divide both sides by 60. and we get x is equal to 3.3 repeating. All right, that is your lesson on percents and solving percent, part, and whole problems using the proportion method. What I would like you guys to do now is, you have a worksheet that you're going to work on. It is a two-sided worksheet, not 2 pages, but 2 sides. Those of you in my last period class will get that. And you are going to do only numbers 1 through 10. Okay, don't do extra problems. Don't do 11 through 20. We're saving that for tomorrow using the other method. So 1 through 10, you must use the proportion method. Here's what the sheet looks like. We can go ahead and do the first one together. It says 37 is what percent of 67? So again, line equals line. Fill in the 100%. Do I know the other percent? No, it literally says what percent, so I don't know. I'm going to use P to represent my unknown percent, and then fill in the rest. 37 is, so 37 is my part, 67 is my total. Cross multiply here. 67p equals 3,700. Divide both sides by 67. I need to use a calculator here. Let's see what we get. So 3,700 divided by 67, and we get 55.2. Sorry, I'm writing it in here. P equals 55.2. Now remember, we're looking for percent, so do not leave your answer like this. That would be wrong. We've got to come in and add that percent. All right, good luck with the homework. I will see you guys on Tuesday, and we will learn our second method then. See ya, bye.